नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. So thank you for inviting me. I'm deeply obliged. So today is we are heading for a very most auspicious Vaishnav festival that's soon to be arriving. That's Gaur Leela, Gaur Purnima. So we'll be doing the Gaur Leela, as Gaur Leela is actually, it will give an insight to us that why should we be celebrating this festival and who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. So it's very, very important for us to know about him. So let's do the Mangalacharan first. Om Agyane Thimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshunamalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurvai Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutalai Swam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swam Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Patkamlam Shri Gurena Vaishnavascha Shri Rupam Sagritam Saganagnathvitam Tham Sajivam Sadavaitam Sarabhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanitavascha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanu Sutadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhaksha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hi Krishna. So I'll be starting with the PPT now because we want to know who Lord Chaitanya is and what are the reasons why he appeared. So these are there are confidential reasons, there is an external reason. We'll be understanding it through the PPT we have prepared, and it's going to make it easy for us to know the Supreme Lord. So, and he is none different to, he's no different, there is no difference between the Radha Krishna, he's the Yugala Roop of Radha Krishna. So we actually, how to understand him, let's go ahead with the PPT. Yes, Narayan Prabhu. Sri Gaura Leela, the part 1. These are hidden reasons, the confidential reasons of his appearance on this planet for us. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is an incarnation of Lord Krishna, who appeared in Nadia in the 15th century AD, the West Bengal. The Lord descended from the spiritual world to establish the Yuga Dharma of Kali Yuga, which is Sankirtan Yagya, chanting of the Lord's holy name. So that's why Lord Chaitanya appeared, and he made it so simple for us. We are full of demonic qualities. In Kali Yuga, the demonic qualities are on the rise, and he came from the spiritual world. He's himself Krishna, he's the Radha Krishna. He took the mood and the complexion of Radha Rani and he appeared for us. And in the form of a devotee, in the garb of a devotee. So we every day, those who are connected to ISKCON, go to the temple, have the Mangalarti darshans, they all know that we do the Namaprads, we read them, and then we do the Chaitanya Shikshashtakam, where the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu we are well acquainted with. So here we are going to understand the reasons why he appeared. So he gave this Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Nam Namakari Bahuda, he gave the name of Krishna to us. So make it easier for us to go back to Godhead, the main aim of our lives. So let's go to the slide. Sri Gaura Purnima is the auspicious appearance day of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is also known as the Gauranga, due to his golden complexion. This festival also marks the beginning of the new year for Gaudiya Vaishnavas. It's the new year for us. So we'll be soon having that. And let's go for the next slide. Keep on moving, Narayan Prabhu. The Lord appeared on the Falguni Purnima, the full moon day in the month of Falgun, and the year 1486 in Sridham Mayapur as the son of Sri Jagannath Mishra and Shrimati Shachi Devi. So he was their adorable son and he appeared. The Lord's parents named him Nimai because his birth was under the tree of neem in the courtyard of his paternal grandparents, Nilambar Chakravarti, who was who, being a very big astrologer, he predicted that he is not an ordinary human being. He is the Supreme Lord himself descended. He was called Gauranga Mahaprabhu, as Lord Chaitanya possessed the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani as an incarnation of Krishna. He's Krishna, he's Swam Bhagwan. Thus, by Krishna's arrangement and desire during his Leela or divine pastimes on earth, upon observing the standard of unconditional love of the gopis or cowherd women, he began to wonder if he was really the king of love or Rasaraj. So this is what Krishna actually, when he was here on this planet. We'll be doing soon in the slides, I'll be showing you that how he appears, how Krishna and Gauranga appears only once in the day of Brahma. And this is actually the Manvantra going on. We are very fortunate he appeared in this Manvantra. He was here. So thus, he wanted to understand the bhava of gopis, the Vraja damsels. He wanted to understand them, how they loved him so much. And was he really the Rasaraj? We get all this information from the Chaitanya Charitamrita of Krishnadas Kaviraj. He gives us all the information about this. And then we could call this Krishna's existential crisis when he began to doubt himself and he felt something lacking. He had never seen such a quality of love, and a desire arose within him to taste this loving sentiment himself. So he wanted to taste that nectar, what the gopis got from him, how they loved Krishna. So to taste that nectar, he appeared in the form of a devotee in the garb of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We find in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya for 3 historic personal reasons unrelated to any purpose in the world, as is the case in his other incarnations. So these 3 historic reasons, grew out of the desire that arose in Krishna when he observed the unparalleled selfless love of the gopis for him. So we all know the Rasa Leela, where gopis, where Radharani being the prime gopi, she is all for the service of Krishna. She enjoys the company of Krishna. And Krishna wants to taste that. And he appeared in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form to understand that love of Radharani. And especially as expressed by Sri Radha. 3 purposes for Sri Chaitanya's descent. The first purpose of Krishna's descent as Sri Chaitanya was to relish the position of Srimati Radharani, who is the prime reciprocator of transcendental love of Sri Krishna. So Radharani is a very confidential subject. So to understand that mood, that transcendental love for what she had for Krishna, how he is that is for the subject and the object, the Krishna and Radharani. So to understand that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of Radharani. Lord Krishna is the reservoir of transcendental loving transactions with Srimati Radharani. The subject of those loving transactions is Lord himself. And Radharani is the object. Thus the subject, the Lord wanted to relish the loving mellow in the position of the object, Radharani. So he wanted to take that position, and thus he came in the mood, and the complexion he took was of Radharani. And that is how we are going to understand why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. The second reason for his appearance was to understand the transcendental mellow experience or taste of himself. Lord Krishna is all sweetness. Radharani's attraction for Krishna is sublime. And to experience that attraction and understand the transcendental sweetness of himself, he accepted the mentality of Radharani. So he accepted the mentality of Radharani. He wanted to taste that sweetness of himself, what Radharani relished. He wanted to enjoy that. And that is the mood of separation also. That is called the Virha Kabhav. The third reason that Lord Chaitanya appeared was to enjoy the bliss tasted by Radharani. The Lord thought that undoubtedly Radharani enjoyed his company, and he enjoyed the company of Radharani. But the exchange of transcendental mellow between the spiritual couple was more pleasing to Srimati Radharani than to Sri Krishna. So that is the mood of Radharani. So the devotee has to inculcate what? The mood of Radharani. The mood of serving Krishna. So that is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to understand that, appeared as the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the goddess Sundara. Radharani felt more transcendental pleasure in the company of Krishna than he could understand without taking her position. But for Sri Krishna to enjoy in the position of Srimati Radharani was impossible because that position was completely foreign to him. So that's what Krishnadas Kaviraj says this, that it was completely foreign to him. And for that, he had to descend in the form of Gaurachandra, where he was the Yugal Roop of Radha Krishna. Krishna is the transcendental male and Radharani is the transcendental female. Therefore, to know the transcendental pleasure of loving Krishna, Lord Krishna himself appeared as Lord Chaitanya, accepting the emotions and bodily luster of Srimati Radharani. So Radharani is a very confidential subject, as I said. To understand her, we have to go deep into the scriptures. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives it's in a very simply he makes us understand. When we take the role of a devotee, when we are in devotional service, the Vaidhi Bhakti is going into, culminate into the Raganuga Bhakti. So Vaidhi Bhakti, what we are following, it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. With his mercy, it is going to culminate into the Raganuga Bhakti, where Srimati Radharani is glorified. And here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually, he gives us this. So in the Gauri Leela part 2, I'm going to the external reasons now. So what are the external reasons? Next we explore more widely known the reasons for Sri Chaitanya's appearance. Actually, this historic reason seems quite historic to most of us, but it is in relationship with the suffering jiva souls like ourselves. And it is considered external to the Lord's personal inner purpose. So this is the external reason we are going to discuss now. The external reason for us, for the jivas who are suffering. So we all are suffering. We sing every day Sansara Davanal. So that is, this is the land, this is the planet, this is the Mrityu Loka where everybody is suffering. So on this earth, everybody is suffering. This is Mrityu Loka. So Mrityu Loka is the one where the Mrityu is destined, the death is destined. And yet, being death destined also, people are into the material world. They want to enjoy the material world. And that's why the suffering is there. So they want to enjoy this, become the controller of this material world. Though we don't belong to this world. We are from the spiritual world. And here we don't find peace because of that. And we are suffering. And our suffering is actually that brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaita Acharya's prayers to the, he being Mahavishnu himself, he prayed for the Supreme Lord to descend. He wanted us to have that suffering go away. And who could give the best was the Krishna when he descends himself. And that too in the form of a devotee he appeared to give us to how that we can become an ideal devotee. He taught us to become an ideal in our devotional service. So extra insight about Lord Chaitanya we are going to see. Please let me end with the prayer of Srila Rupa Goswami glorifying Lord Chaitanya's advent and Srila Prabhupada's explanation. Krishna prema pradayate, Krishna Krishna Chaitanya namana gaura tvise namaha. So it says that the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is the most loving, he is the most compassionate incarnation. He is the most compassionate. He is the most munificent incarnation. You are Krishna himself appearing as Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You have assumed the golden color of Srimati Radharani and you are widely distributing pure love of Krishna. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you. So we offer our obeisances unto you, O Lord Chaitanya, that he is the most compassionate. He can give us Krishna. Krishna, when he descended on this planet, when he came here on the Mrityu Loka, he killed all the demons. We all know that. He began with killing of Putana, he began killing with Agasura, Trinavrata, all Pralambasura, all these demons were being killed by him. But what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu being the most compassionate, what he gave us, he made those demons, converted, transformed those demons into the devotees of the Lord. So that is how we can see that. If we really want to be on this planet and we want to go back to Godhead, the only thing we can resort to is the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his mercy, his compassion. We offer our respectful obeisances unto that merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead who has converted all three worlds which were maddened by ignorance and saved them from their diseased condition by making them mad with the nectar from the treasure house of love of God. So these lines are very, very important. So these three planets are actually maddened by ignorance. May it be the heavenly planets, may it be the Narkas, we know the hellish planets, and the Mritiloka. Everybody is living in ignorance. Everybody is actually, they don't understand. Ignorance means where there is no understanding, no knowledge. Ignorance means darkness. Ignorance means when we have no knowledge at all. That's why Krishna says, Tesham ivanu kampartham aham agyanam jamtama nashyami atma bhavasto jnana dipena bhasvata. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, by my mercy you will get the transcendental divine knowledge in your heart, the light. The light actually refers to the knowledge. He says, and what happens? The darkness of ignorance will go away. And how that happens? By my mercy. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is that mercy that has descended from the Goloka. That mercy has come to us. That mercy is actually flowing to us in the form of the holy name. So Kali Kevala Namadhara, all the scriptures glorify this. May it be the Bhagavatam, may it be the Kali Santran Upanishad, all the Upanishads, Puranas, wherever we may go, it's glorified. The Kali Yuga, only the holy name is going to take us back. Even the Granth Sahib says that. Satyug Sati Treta Yug Yagi Dwapar Puja Achar Kali Kevala Namadhar. These lines are from the Granth Sahib. So Kali is only that can take us away from the disease of Kali Yuga. It's the only holy name. Holy name can only take us away from that diseased condition. So it says here, and he saved them from diseased condition by making them mad with nectar. So Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam, the more we chant the holy name, the more we get the ecstasy, the more we get the bliss. That's for sure. That is how we have been chanting. Many of us have been chanting for decades. Many have been chanting for a few years. Yet they don't feel that boredom. What you feel when you are when you are tasting the material things. Likewise, I was giving an example in my class the other day, that if we are very hungry and we really crave for some very tasty dish, in the kitchen, and we prepare some very nice bhoga and we offer to the Supreme Lord and eat it. And suppose we have to eat it every day. The first day we will love it. We'll say, oh, it's very tasty, it's beautiful. And the second day, the taste will get a bit less. The third day, a bit less. You would want a change now. You will crave for a change. You would want to change to some other dish. But then what happens? If you are forced to have that for over a period of time, you say, I don't want it. Take it away. I don't want that. Because that's material. The material things, they don't actually give us the pleasure. They don't have that pleasure potency in them. The pleasure potency is only in the holy name. So Krishna has given that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought it and distributed it freely. He brought this nectar from the treasure house of love of God. So it is the love for Krishna we crave for. It's a reciprocal, we know that. So it is, if we love Krishna, the Krishna loves us. If we don't love Krishna, Krishna won't love us. It's that. Krishna says very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadante tastevam bhajami aham. He says that. If you love me, if you surrender to me, the love means surrender. Love means taking care. Love means you really want to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Love means that. When we love somebody in the material world also, we want to serve him. We want to give the best to them. We want to care for them. We give our affection to them. And so is the case with Krishna says. He says that, Ye yatamam prapadante. He says, when you surrender to me, when you love me, you surrender to me, then what happens? I reciprocate with you. And your love for me will go on increasing. You will become attached to me. You will become, it says there, it will end into Krishna Prema. It will end into the purification of your heart. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave. The 8 shlokas, we will be actually doing them also here. Let me read this first. In this verse, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is described as Mahavadanaya. So he is the most munificent, most compassionate of the charitable persons, because he gives Krishna so easily that one can attain Krishna simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. We should therefore take advantage of the benediction given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when by chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, we are cleansed of all dirty things. Chaito Darpanam Marjanam. That's very important. Our heart has to be cleansed. So we shall be able to understand very easily that Krishna is the only object of love. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrijayata. So Prabhupada says that from the 10th canto, he speaks about this from the 10th canto, 3rd chapter, 37 to 38. So he is the main object of love. Krishna is the main object of love. And how does that come along? When he's the only, Mukunda he's called, he's the only one who can give us the liberation, what we are looking for. Though that's why he's called Mukunda. I would refer here from in the Granth Sahib, it says that if it's the Vani of a very big saint like Namdev, he says that I would sell all the demigods for one Krishna, he says. So because he is one Mukunda, he asks Durga, he says there, Mukta ki bari aayi tab kahan chapani. He says, when the time for liberation came, where did you go and hide yourself? Because you cannot give it. So you hide yourself. So Mukta ki bari aayi tab kahan chapani. But he says, I will only surrender to Mukunda because he is the only. Name eho kahe Gita. And he says this, that the Gita says this. The Bhagavad Gita says this, that only Krishna, he can liberate us. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually showing us the passage for that liberation. If we don't know how to surrender to Krishna. The Bhagavad Gita ends with surrender, where Krishna says, surrender unto me. But then he's given different processes for surrender. He talks about devotional service also. But then how to understand that, how do we follow the devotional service? What we do? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the calling of Advaita Acharya appeared and he gave us the process, the passage that how a devotee should be. What an ideal devotee has to be like. To understand what devotee should be doing, what he should be following, how he should be acting in this world. He gave that process. He gave it for even to the animals he went to he could make them chant also. So these are the things that really bring bliss in our life. The holy name, it can bring the bliss. It can liberate us. It has the power. So if we follow the Shikshashtakam, that's why we read it every day. So reading means imbibing it. Reading should be that we imbibe it. We put it into our hearts. So we take it deep into our hearts. If we take this deep into our hearts, we will understand. Because these 8 verses of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually speak volumes of all the scriptures. We may pick up any big scripture, you may pick up with thousands of shlokas. The Bhagavad Gita has got 700 verses. The Srimad Bhagavatam has got 18,000 verses. So if we pick up any scripture, these 8 verses bring the gist of everything. They bring the summary to us. So they bring us closer to the Supreme Lord. It becomes easy for us. And in the garb of a devotee, he has appeared. And the garb of a devotee means he is actually following that dress code. What a dress code he took as a sannyasi. First he was a grasta. Then he took sannyas at the age of 24 to make people realize that yes, it is, he could convey to the bigger masses, because the respect for a sannyasi in the Indian culture is far bigger. So that is how it is. Though sannyas has been not that everybody can take up to the renunciation. He's talking about the real renunciation at heart. So we have to bring the real renunciation is the self-control that comes to our heart. And how does that come? When we surrender to the holy name, when we actually take shelter of the holy name. So the holy name is so important in our life. And who brought this importance? That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He changed so many Mayavadi sannyasis. And he discussed with them. They wanted him to take up to the discussions of the Vedas and all the Vedic literature. And they said, why do you always chant and dance like a madman? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied. First, he actually exhibited the stage. There was the elimination from his own body of the millions of suns, So, and then they could understand he was not an ordinary human being. And then he replied very, very coolly and very calmly. He told them that his guru, he thought him to be a fool and just gave him the holy name. And he said, you should just chant and sing the glories of the Lord, sing this holy name and dance. And that's what I have been doing that. And that has actually, it's a message for us. That's what Prabhupada gave us. Chant and be happy. So when we chant, it's bound to bring happiness. Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam. Even the Gurbani says this, that when we perform bhakti, when we chant the holy name, what happens is, when we chant the name of Hari, what happens? It says there, it's just like when you are feeding a very sweet thing, the good, the jaggery, to a person who cannot speak, who is dumb, who cannot speak. If you feed him with jaggery, he cannot tell you how sweet it is. It's the same with all of us. Those who are tasting the nectar of the holy name, they cannot tell that how sweet it is, how beautiful it is, because we can experience it ourselves. Because as I said earlier, we've been chanting for decades. Some of us have been chanting for 2-3 decades. Some have been chanting for a few years. Some have been chanting for a few months. Why do they not get bored? They never get bored of it. They want to chant it. Every day morning they get up and they again chant. They chant the 16 rounds, some chant more. Some want to chant the whole day. And it becomes a part of life. It's actually seated on our jiva, on our tongue. Whenever we are walking, going, driving car, you would know that you are singing the Mahamantra. It comes automatically, subconsciously it's there. Sometimes everybody experiences that while sleeping even. Just your eyes, if you wake up in the middle of the night, it's the Mahamantra, the first thing comes to your lips. So why does this happen? Because it's very sweet and it is taken there. Actually, it is seated in our heart now. It is in our consciousness now. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, it's all transformation of consciousness. It's nothing outwardly, it's all inwardly. It's everything that is going to happen inwardly. And the blessings of Radharani, they flow from, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Yugala Roop. He's the Radha Krishna. He's non-different to both. And that's why the blessings we get from Radharani also, when we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's words, we are getting the blessings, we are getting blessed by Radharani and Krishna himself. And Radharani is the Guru Tattva. That's very important also. The Krishnadas Kaviraj, he started with the being a big acharya, he started the Chaitanya Charitamrita with the first chapter of spiritual gurus. He is explaining the importance of a guru in life. And Srila Prabhupada, he is what? He is the guru, he is the acharya for the whole world. He gave this to everybody. And just we can see now itself at the present moment when there is a crisis in the whole world, a war is going on. And the beautiful experiences of the devotees coming from there, they actually they motivate us, they boost our faith, in the Supreme Lord more and more. I was going through the experiences of the devotees when they are leaving Ukraine, when they are running away to Poland or Hungary. So what are they experiencing? And they know one address with them. Maybe they are in any part of the world. Everybody has one address with them. ISKCON of that city. I was reading an experience of a devotee. They said they left ISKCON, Ukraine, and first they left their home because there was a big missile attack near their home. They left that, they went to the ISKCON Kyiv, from ISKCON Kyiv to ISKCON Lviv, and then they are moving on to, and they have no one to take shelter of in this world. So they went to Hungary. They don't know anybody in Hungary. They just know Srila Prabhupada. They just have the address ISKCON Hungary, ISKCON Romania, ISKCON Budapest. So they just take that address and reach there, and they get the comfort. They're getting everything. They get food, prasadam, they get shelter, they get a place to stay. They have been displaced from their homes, and the devotees are asking them, you can stay on the farm, you can do service, you can be with us. And they say this gives goosebumps. This gives goosebumps while talking even. That what the big nations fail to do, Srila Prabhupada did it. Big nations, they are unable to stop this war. And look at the irony. The devotees are in Russia and the devotees are in Ukraine. The devotees of Russia are sending aid to the devotees of Ukraine. They are sending aid to them. The war is between these two nations, and the devotees are actually helping the devotees. They don't see it as a war between them and the other devotees. So they understand. It's such a big understanding given by Srila Prabhupada, given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is the biggest understanding Vasudev Kutumbakam in the real sense, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what Srila Prabhupada did it. He made the whole world one. So everybody is feeling the pain for the people in Ukraine. Everybody is feeling that pain. The same pain is there. Everybody wants to help them. So it's so beautiful. So we can never get lost in this, on this earth, wherever we are. I also travel, I know I'm going to meet devotees there. So I have no fear in my heart even when I travel. I started traveling like so many years back in 2007. I started traveling internationally. So I was giving lectures and started in 2001 or 2 itself. I started speaking, giving discourses. But then while traveling, I never had the fear, because sometimes they would ask me, my family, when my sisters and all, they would ask if I was going to Tokyo or Canada. Do you know anybody there? Like, my family doesn't stay in Tokyo. Nobody stays in Tokyo. In Canada, maybe in a distant place somewhere somebody stays. But they would ask me, do you know anybody in Tokyo where you're going? I said, I don't know even who's going to pick me up from the airport. I haven't seen their faces even. Just by wearing my kantimala and my tilak, they'll recognize me and I'll recognize them with their kantimala and tilak. Yes, they are Srila Prabhupads. They are from ISKCON. So I know this has been there. The world is one family. So wherever I travel, I've experienced this. And now the devotees from the city of Kiev and Ukraine, when they speak of such things, it brings the bliss to our hearts. Yes, they are not alone. The whole world, the whole ISKCON is with them. So we don't know what the politicians have in their hearts, but we know what is there in the hearts of the devotees. In the hearts of the devotees is the holy name given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He descended and he gave it to all of us. So we are so much obliged to Srila Prabhupada that what he gave us. And I could see the fear on the devotees' faces, when I was going through these videos. And they had so much fear on their faces, and yet they had so much faith in Srila Prabhupada. They were always thanking Srila Prabhupada, because they said they were hungry. They had, because when they were stuck on the platforms, there was no food, no water, nothing was there. And they said, and they're in thousands and thousands. The platforms are jam-packed because they want to take up trains. They're squeezing into the trains to flee from Ukraine. But then what consolation was there? The temple is taking the risk of their lives and bringing prasadam to these platforms. They're bringing the breads, they're bringing the water, they're providing them with fruits. So it's amazing. This is simply amazing. And who did this all? This is actually coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is given to the world. So I would like to take question answers. We have another one left. Big slides are there. We'll just quickly do this. Lord Sri Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come once every 1,000 Divya Yugas. It's a daytime of Brahma. So 1,000 Mahayugas. All the cycle of the yugas, they rotate. We all know that. So the 12 hours, the night time there is a partial annihilation that takes place. But only the daytime, there is the coming of the yugas are there, and I would say when the jivas, they come up. The next, let's go ahead. Lord Chaitanya and Krishna's appearance is very rare, as they come just once over the enormous period of time. Srila Prabhupada says Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya appear once in each day of Brahma. And as I said earlier, we are very fortunate. This is the Manvantara when they appeared, and we are just 500 years back. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there. 5,000 years back, Krishna was there, and we are in the same Manvantara. Krishna in his original form comes at the end of every 1,000 Dwapar Yuga. Lord Chaitanya only once in every 1,000 Kali Yuga. The daytime of Lord Brahma is 4,320,000,000 human years. And as already explained, there are no Yuga Brahma's night time, which is also 4,320,000,000 years. So let's move forward. A day and night 24 period is Brahma's 8,640,000,000,000 years. It's a big calculation. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 3.10, At the end of Dwapar Yuga of 28th Divya Yuga, Lord Krishna appears on earth with full paraphernalia of his eternal Braj Dham. And now is the term of Vaishwas Manu, during which Lord Chaitanya appears. First, Lord Krishna appears at the close of Dwapar Yuga of 28th Divya Yuga, and then Lord Chaitanya appears in Kali Yuga of the same Divya Yuga. And so we are all blessed souls, and the blessings have come through Srila Prabhupada. Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya appear once in each day of Brahma, or once in 14 Manvantras, each of 71 Divya Yugas in duration. From the beginning of Brahma's day, that's 4,32,000 years, 6 Manus appear and disappear before Lord Krishna appears. This is all mathematics. If you want to, it's all given in the purports. And Srila Prabhupada, that is 12 hours and add again 12 hours night, 8 billion. So Krishna comes after this period in one day. And after one day of Brahma, he appears. So devotee asks, Srila Prabhupada, does Lord Chaitanya also appear every day of Brahma? Srila Prabhupada replied, yes. Following Krishna, Krishna comes in the Dwapar Yuga. There are 4 periods of each Yuga, Satta, Treta, Dwapar, Kali. So Krishna comes at the end of Dwapar Yuga. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes in the Kali Yuga. So that's a lecture he gave in Melbourne. We have to understand that one full day of Brahma from sunrise to sunset has 1000 Divya Yugas. In it, however, the twist is all those Mahayugas occur only the 12-hour daytime hours of Brahma. Again, there are no Divya Yugas during the Brahma's 12-hour night time. The next slide. Let's end up fast. Now, when the 12-hour night time starts, Brahma sleeps and does not create any Mahayugas. Also, when Brahma sleeps during the nighttime hours, there is a partial annihilation lasting 4,320,000,000 human years, the duration of Brahma's night. So when you add up the daytime of 4,320,000,000 years, the nighttime of this, you get the full 24 hours day and night time of Brahma. So these are so many human years. Let's go ahead and skip this. In this way, Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only come once in a full day-night period of Brahma, or once every 1000 Maha Yugas. So look at our fortune. We are most fortunate souls, having appeared just after the Supreme Lord himself. So we are blessed souls, and blessings have actually come through Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Narayan Prabhu. So I would take question answers now. I believe I want to do the pastimes also, but we don't have time now. The time does not permit.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for getting us through that journey and giving us the knowledge of who Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is. Actually, most of the people who come from India, they are aware of Radha Krishna, but very few people are aware of who Lord Chaitanya is. And as you correctly said, it was only because of the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we all know about Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda Prabhu as well, and of course the whole Gaura Leela. So Mataji, before we take question answers, could I just share what programs we are going to have the coming week at ISKCON of Bergen? Thank you, Mataji. So I'll quickly share my screen, and we'll see what are the upcoming programs. So here we are. Can you all see my screen? Am I sharing? No, Mataji. Oh, sorry. Okay, now? Yes. Okay. So we keep having online sanghas, and now the temple has opened its door for in-person programs also. So today we had the fortune of hearing from Radhika Kapra Mataji. This Sunday, our very own Ramchandra Prabhu will give a class at the temple. And then on March 17th, we have the Gaur Purnima celebration. There will be kirtans, dramas, abhishek, aarti, and feast also. If you go to our website, you will be able to click on the flyer and can see the entire program. So that's for March 17th, Thursday in the US. And on 20th of March, which is the next Sunday, we have His Grace Shankarsana Prabhu giving the class at the center. And apart from that, we keep having our weekly Bhakti Vrikshas at different locations. And then we also have our Zoom calls every single day from Sunday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. EST. This is our Japa call. So anybody who would like to join, it's the same Zoom link that you've used to join today's class. And also, we do 15-minute Bhagavad Gita reading from Monday through Friday. So we read Bhagavad Gita shlokas here. So you can join. It's again the same Zoom call. You can join. You can just take a break midday, and just tune into a little spirituality and hear the words of Lord Krishna himself. Okay, so that's about it from my side. And now I would request devotees to ask questions. If they have any, you can raise your hands and ask questions, or you can just unmute yourself and ask your questions to Mataji. Thank you.
I hope everybody, Prabhuji, you're aware that our book distribution scores, our group got a prize recently from the Lotus Hands of Guru Maharaj. My group met me, many of them met me for the first time when they came for the prize distribution ceremony in the Delhi temple. And I feel really happy to let you know that we have done 626 Bhagavatam sets online this year, and 2021 we did it. And we did 14,000 Bhagavad Gitas, including 200 sets of Chaitanya Charitamrit, all online. Hari Bol. And it is the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Guru Maharaj. And many of them flew down from different parts of the India to for this prize distribution, and they met me for the first time, many of them, and they met Srila Guru Maharaj also for the first time. And Nayan Prabhu was said to come from Mauritius. He's from Mauritius. He wanted to come over, but then some restrictions came up, and he had the tickets booked, everything done, but he could not take the flight. So, but anyway, the Guru Maharaj mercy and Srila Prabhupada mercy we could do, and our group is blessed. I would seek your blessings, seek the blessings of all the Vaishnavas present here, that bless us so that this year we may double our scores. We are planning to double our scores this year. So I would really request all of you to bless us so that we are able to do it, our group is able to do it. And for the plan, I met Visheshki Prabhu in Vrindavan. So he gave me a blessing note also for my group. He met some of the members who were visiting with me to Vrindavan. He met them, he blessed them also. And he was really happy to know the scores and very pleased. And he especially video recorded a message for me. It was wonderful meeting him here. So if no questions are coming up, any comments? Anybody wants to give any comment? Yeah, Rashi has raised her hand.
Yes, Rashi Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the wonderful class, and I'm a big follower of yours. My question is little unrelated with what we spoke. Can I go ahead?
You have to ask those who have organized it. They have to let you go or not. I have no power.
Yes, so my question is with reading all Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, we do understand that we are a soul and we are not this body. But why we keep forgetting this over and over again, and we still act from that bodily platform, and what best we can do to, experience that, the inner self of us.
Yes.
So I do chant 16 rounds, and it's not a long time I have been doing this, but it's like more than 6 months I'm continuously chanting. So I wanted to know what else I
But
can do to, experience that rather than just having a theoretical knowledge of
yeah,
who we are.
I understand. Because knowing theoretically it's good. That's what Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita. That जो ज्ञान के आधार पर शुद्ध भक्ति करता है, those who perform pure devotional service on the basis of knowledge, they are very dear to me. So more often what we do, we read the theory, but we don't practice it. So Bhagavad Gita is all experiencing. So that is why it is said it's a science of self-realization. It's a science. Science means practical. So we forget. The human tendency is to forget. We have a memory that's very short. We just chant, and we sometimes chant as a burden, as something of 16 rounds as a ritual. So don't take it as a ritual. It's a way of life. And who reminds us this again and again? The association of devotees. So if you are based, I don't know where you are based, Rashi, where do you live?
I'm in New Jersey.
So you should visit the
amongst
temple.
the devotees only.
Yeah. So you should visit the temple. You should be in the association of devotees, and of course you can take these Zoom classes. What they're having there as well. So what happens is when you're in the association of devotees, they constantly remind you. Yes, I have to. They motivate you. This association motivates us. And it's very difficult to get the association, I must tell you. Don't think it that, oh, it's so easy, a click away and I'm in the association. It's not. You're actually physically we can be there, but how we can be there mentally? The mind. We have to take our mind also along with our body, The mind should be there, that's very important. So that happens when we see others chanting, that's why we say chant with the devotees. So that boosts our morale, that actually keeps us on our toes. And when we are doing some service, we get attached. So service is our biggest reminder for us. When we are on service, we are meditating on the service, oh, I got this service, I have to do it. So in a way, you are unknowingly meditating on Krishna. That's how the gurus, they have the yukti, upai. What we say, the gurus, the mentors, they have the yukti. That's why Chaitanya, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it said the first chapter is about the instructing masters, again the initiating masters and the instructing masters. So that is about how the mentors, how they help you. When you get a service, the service is a way to meditate on Krishna. तो फिर हम we'll never forget. हम कभी नहीं भूलेंगे कि हम आत्मा है. Because devotees हमें भूलने नहीं देंगे. The devotees around us, the association around us. And the Gurbani says, bin paga satsang na labije. Without a good fortune, you cannot get the association of devotees. And bin paga satsang na labije, bin satsang mail bharije jiyo. And without the association, you will all have what? A sinful activities in our lives. Always we will be committing sin. So we have to actually not go into go away from the association of devotees. That is why it's the biggest reminder. So for you, I would say how to keep us remembering all the time, how you should remember this. When we are in the association devotees, they don't let us forget that you have a service. And when we are doing a service, we get attached to Krishna. And then Krishna is in our hearts. And he knows that, yes, you are endeavoring for the service, you are meditating on him. He knows everything. We cannot bluff him. So if we are chanting sincerely, he knows that also. If we are not chanting attentively, he knows that also. So we should once to chant attentively. That's very important. So that is why the Brahm Muhurta is the best time when nobody can disturb us. As the day, actually sun rises, the day becomes heavier, The best part is the early morning. That is the lightest, where you have nothing to worry about. You're on your own. Nobody can say anything to you. You have no responsibility at that time. So you just focus on chanting. And yes, abhi 6 months हुए, so it is just sometimes we get very impatient because we've just taken the admissions in the nursery class and we want the result of PhD, so that becomes difficult. So, but in any case, we have to have the association of devotees. That's a must. So you're on the right track. Just keep on doing it and you will get the bliss, what you're seeking. Haribol.
Thank you, Mataji. So if I sometimes feel not like chanting, or if I don't get the test or taste, what I do is I just open one of your videos, and within like 5 to 10 minutes, I'm on my track. Like, okay, I have to chant.
Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for what all you are doing for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Rashi, for asking that question. Rukmavati Mataji, you're next. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the wonderful class. My question is regarding Shishtastakam prayers, verse 3, Trinadapi Sunichena. So, the humility, sometimes in the mood of service, it says that humility begins with service, but in the mood of service, one may lose that humility also. So, how does one maintain that humility?
Yes, that's very important. A good question you have put up, because sometimes in service, the humility is the enemy is false ego, and sometimes the false ego boosts up because you have done a service and you think you have done it, and when we think, oh, I have done it, so then the false ego will come. But when we understand it's not me who has done it, the service is actually cannot be done without empowerment. I must tell you, the service to the Supreme Lord, especially I'm talking about, the service to the Supreme Lord cannot be done actually without empowerment. Who empowers it? The spiritual master, the parampara, the Guru parampara, that empowers you. That is how we can do the service. If we keep reminding ourselves this, then we will not fall into the trap of false ego. And that false ego actually is the one, it can replace humility. But if we give the credit to the Guru Parampara, and it's the truth, it's not we are just giving them the credit, it's the truth. It's 100% the truth. Because without empowerment, nobody can do anything. I could not have done this. I clearly say that. I could not have written the book. I've got so many stories, with me, that I could not have written the book on poetry. I could not have written the book on Sikhism. I could not have done this book distribution, online preaching, or international preaching, or going to do preaching in Pakistan, everywhere. I could not have done it without being empowered by the spiritual master or by the Guru Parampara. I can relate that so well. I've got millions of stories like this. And that is how, if we keep on thinking this, then the false ego will not take us away. We will get the humility, the real humility to taste, that will come. If we give the credit to the Guru Parampara, to your spiritual master, to your mentors, then the credit is theirs. We have not done anything. We are just the medium. We just sit and speak. And who speaks? It's they who speak through us. It's not, we have no capability. I remember the day when my Guru Maharaj told me, I want you to give lectures, and it is in 2002 or 1, I had just entered ISKCON. And he said, you should give. I said, oh, Maharaj, I am not perfect. How can I give? He said, you will become perfect. And I don't know, when I when I started giving, I was so like first apprehensive that if somebody asks a question, what will I reply? How will I reply? I don't know that much. But I don't know, somehow I could do it. And I know I'm not capable of it. Till today, I know I'm not capable of speaking. Who speaks, I don't know. Haribol. Hare Krishna. So,
thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah, I hear your classes every day morning, and really it's empowering. Thank you.
Thank you. No, there is you have a Sunday feast program, I know, here. So you must attend those programs. They are actually the feast programs, because Prabhupada gave them to us, and they actually help us, they bless us. That is you get the association of devotees, you get to get the service also. So many things you get in one package, the Sunday feast program. You get to listen, you get a feast for your ears, you get a feast to taste the Mahaprasadam, then you get a service also to do. So that's wonderful. One must attend those. Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So I think so. It's 8 o'clock here in India now. The session, I think so. It will be over now, I believe.
Anybody, last call for any questions, if anybody has any question? Mataji, there is a question on the chat box, if you would take that.
Yes.
Shall I read the question? So it says, is it possible to make spiritual progress without being taking full renunciation, as we sometimes have material duties, for example, school, jobs, families. How can I surrender to Krishna without abandoning execution of duty?
Yeah, that's a very beautiful question again. And it's actually, everybody thinks that way, that how can we do this? How can we take renunciation without leaving our duties, without fulfilling the commitments we have in this material world also? Yes, our acharyas have given this the way out. They gave us the Yukta Vairagya. So Yukta Vairagya is where the renunciation, the detachment, in the attachment it is. When you are in the household life, a householder you are, so you cannot leave and run away from your household duties. You have to do those duties. But we don't have to get asakt, entangled in them. So when we are chanting, when we are following the process of devotional service, it's there that Krishna will bless us and we will not get entangled into them. It's there. I often say that what we do in our normal routine life, in the material life, is if we are religious, in the name of religion or being spiritual, what we just do our duty towards the Supreme Lord. We just light an agarbatti or an arti, quickly, we read and do it, and it's over. And we have all love for our children, all love for our family. We'll serve them very nicely with full of love. We'll spend hours in the kitchen preparing for their best dishes, what they like, and feeding them and going around pampering them. But we have to just reverse the roles. You just have to give love to Krishna and your duty to this household. That's it. You may feed your family, but feed them with prasadam. First offer prasadam to Bhoga to Krishna with full love. So now the love has gone to Krishna. He is your first priority. Radha, Krishna, Gaurnitai, they are your first priority. You get up in the morning, chant their holy name, do the arti with full love, and offering your arti. We start with Sansar Davanal, is first offering a praise to the Guru. So taking the blessings of the Guru is important early in the morning. So take those blessings and then start your chanting, and then take care of your household activities. We don't say, Srila Prabhupada never said that leave your household activities, leave your job, leave your school, leave your services as a wife. No, you do everything. But at the same time, first be connected to the Supreme Lord. And beautiful examples are there in the scriptures. There is this example, even Srila Prabhupada is quoted, and it's in the Granth Sahib also. That when we have seen in the olden times, when the ladies of the village, they used to carry their pots on their head, 7 or 8 pots, one upon the other, and they used to walk to get the water. Still in India, they have to do this in some of the remote villages where there are no water pipelines. So they go to the nearest well, walking at least 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers with 7, 8 pots on their head, one on top of the other. And they walk and they fill water at the well and bring it back home. And they go in groups. And when they go in groups, they are talking, they are laughing, they are singing songs. And at the same time, not a single drop of water spills through those pots, They balance it so well. So this is how they said you can balance your life. You have to, all the care and all attention should be to the holy name. And then we are singing, dancing, and walking through the material world also. But our consciousness is with the Supreme Lord, our Chaitanya. We are actually dedicated to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, to the Guru. We are dedicated there to the holy name. But yet we are doing our duties. So this is called Yukta Vairagya. So just like a mother, when she's doing the pura ghar ka kaam kar rahi hai, she's doing all the household job. But when a little baby, a small baby she has, few months old, is sleeping in the other room and she's working in the other corner of the house, yet her mind is there with the baby. When the baby just turns his back even, or just he is making a little bit of noise also, she knows it. Yes, my baby is waking up, and she runs there. So it's like that we have to have our hearts with the holy name and yet doing our services in this world. So it's very simple, very easy. If we try, we don't have to become a sannyasi, we don't have to leave the household, and we don't have to take to the forest, We can remain in the city and do the bhakti. It's not difficult. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
beautiful answer, Mataji, especially the example that you gave. That was really powerful. Anybody else? Any more questions? Any last questions?
So it's
Not really. So
everybody's satisfied with all the answers. They have no questions.
as usual, Mataji, as always.
Any comments? I would welcome any comments if they have. If no questions, any comments they want to give. I can improve on that. That'll help me to improve. Any feedback, any comments? So,
Mataji, we take to you for inspiration and betterment.
ah,
So please bless all of us here in this call so that we can be as dridha as you are, because every time you come to speak, your dedication and love for your Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada and our parampara is so very evident. It just oozes out from through your words, through your expression. So just bless us that someday we can reach that position to where we have such a
thank you.
dridha
You all
love
bless me.
for our
I need your blessings from everybody, all the Vaishnava Acharyas. I need your blessings, everybody's blessings, so that I may be strong, like I may continue and advance more into this. Lot of ahead I have to go, right? It. I was remembering the other day about Ramchandra Prabhu. I was talking to my Guru Maharaj about Ramchandra Prabhu recently on 26th January. I was meeting him, and you remember Ramchandra Prabhu that you asked me in one of the sessions here that what character in the Granth Sahib inspires you. Do you remember the question?
I'm surprised you remember.
I remember it. I narrated this to my Guru Maharaj. I told him. I said Ramchandra Prabhu once asked me what character in the Granth Sahib inspires me a lot. And I narrated the whole story to Guru Maharaj. I made a video of it. I have it with me. It's a secret video I have kept for myself. And I told him the whole story, that what I told you the other day when you asked me. And then I said, I want that quality in me, that I can be like her, the how she served. So I won't narrate it. It's a big story again. But those who want it, they can go back to your YouTube channel session and they can listen that. So it is. I narrated that to him, and I seeked his blessings that I want to be like that, to serve my spiritual master and the parampara. I want to be like that. So that keeps me motivated, that we want to actually take the examples from the acharyas. We have to understand how they served, and we have to do the same way. We don't imitate them, but we seek their blessings that we may follow them. So thank you everybody for inviting me. And as Ramchandra Prabhu has extended an invitation for me to visit US, so somewhere in this year, maybe what Krishna plans for me, I'll be coming to Canada and then maybe to US as well. So it's all. I send him he sent me an invitation. I send him, if anybody wants me, they sponsor me, I will be there definitely earlier to that also. So he said, of course, he will keep in mind. And thank you for inviting. It's so blissful to meet all of you. And I'm very grateful to Ramchandra Prabhu, where he invites me. He doesn't forget to invite me. I thank him a lot for that he really invites me here to be with you all. And thank you so much. I seek the blessings again from all of you. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpataru bhaksha kripa sindhu bhaiva cha patitanam bhavanebhyo Vaishnavbhyo namo nama. Vaishnav Thakur ki
Before we
jai.
can stay on, I have a couple announcements.
Yes.
Can stay on.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Mataji was talking about Ukraine earlier, and I wanted to share with you a new video that just came out, shared by the North American leadership. So I'll play a video. It's really, the video itself is a class, so it's only a couple of minutes. So if anybody would like to stay on, please do. I'll just share it quickly. Everyone can see?
Yeah.
At the moment, more than 100 devotees from different cities of Ukraine, Kiev, Dnipro, Zaporizhia, have come to us. Now we are waiting for devotees from Mariupol. It was promised that they will be evacuated through the Green Corridor. Most of the devotees have come from Kharkov, which is the most destroyed city. The devotees have lost their homes. They lost the opportunity to live a normal life, and we are glad that we can take care of them. It is very sad to see children whose parents cannot make a decent living now. But we are doing everything possible so that they have enough prasadam and have decent living conditions. We thank everyone who helps us in this. Hare Krishna. My name is Indra Prabha. I arrived from Kharkiv late at night yesterday. I lived in Kharkiv. I lived in a place where there was shelling. Our area was completely under fire. We lived in the corridor for 8 days. We tried to go to the basement. It was even worse. All these shells, grads, tanks, planes flew. I didn't know where to run, but by Krishna's mercy, the devotees called. Early in the morning, when the curfew ended, I took a small bag and ran very fast along the road. I prayed very intensely. Here the devotees greeted us very well. It was warm here. They gave us clean bedding. They gave us clean clothes, because I did not take anything. I only had the clothes I was wearing. They gave me soap. It is very valuable in our time, just to wash. You have no idea how grateful I am to those who take care of us now. Hare Krishna. Please accept my obeisances, dear devotees. I am very grateful to this place, for the silence, for calmness. We were bombed for several days. I heard explosions. I don't know about others, but it was very difficult for me to survive all these sounds. To be honest, I was very scared, and of course, I very much wanted to leave this place. I prayed very much to Krishna so that he would send me to a more peaceful place. We, the Vaishnavas from Ukraine, thank everyone who is supporting us. Receiving spiritual and material support from Vaishnavas all over the world, we see with our own eyes what a friendly family as Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has created. All glories to Krishna's devotees.
Jai. Beautiful.
So everyone can see, when we have all the association, right, we take it for granted at times and ask these devotees how much they long for in being in the association of devotees. So let us not wait till we are also in such situations where Krishna forcefully makes us, beg for devotee association. When we have it, let's not take it for granted. Let's not take anything and everything we have in our spiritual and material life for granted. And not just on Wednesdays or Sundays or Fridays, remember Krishna Prabhupada, but all our lives. One who can lead their life by others' examples, seeing others in pain. A devotee feels the pain. And when they feel the pain, that's the litmus test, how good a progress we made in Krishna consciousness. If seeing these videos is just like, another topic to discuss, gossip, then it's really not progress that we're making. But if we can feel the pain while we're eating, we can remember them that they are not gotten food, and I'm eating such palatable food, and it chokes here in the throat, then we know we are making progress. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Mataji gave us such a wonderful class and explained the glories of Mahaprabhu. His love personified. He opened the storehouse, and next Thursday is his appearance day. Let's just not just come for the program wherever we are in the world, maybe Mauritius or India or in the US, but think about it, prepare for it a few days ahead. And the best gift that we can give Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is our surrender. What can we do for ourselves, of course, but what can we do for the society? What can we do? How can we become a better devotee? So participate with full heart. Don't think of as a burden. You know, on a weekday I have to work and I have to do this and that. Then it's really not appreciated by the Lord either, that you have to take so much trouble to do this for me. But when it's done joyfully, the Lord really accepts that. He will shower so much mercy. So we've already talked about the Siksha program. So those who would like to sign up, I'm going to quickly share it. Please, on Sunday, or you could call me or email me separately. But do consider signing up for these categories. And this is the way one can progress in their spiritual life gradually. So as we had shared this earlier, we have a few categories of Shiksha program, which we implement only once a year on appearance day of the Lord of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaur Purnima. So our first category is chanting one round of the Hare Krishna mantra every day and reading a little bit of the teachings of Krishna and the books of Srila Prabhupada. These are some of the devotees who signed up last year. The second, Krishna Seva, who chants 4 rounds minimum. You could do more than that, and accepts Krishna as a Supreme Lord, voluntarily engages in devotional service, minimum 4 rounds, and refrains from eating non-vegetarian food, meat, fish, and eggs. And then we have our next category, which is from 8 rounds to 12 rounds, including the previous categories, and following the 4 regulative principles, and then chanting 16 rounds, taking Srila Prabhupada's Ashraya, where one is following the 4 regs, 16 rounds, well-versed in the philosophy, is serious about studying, doing some responsible service in the temple, and follows a decent sadhana program at home. And finally, the Sri Guru Charanashraya, where all the previous categories, plus they're aspiring from a spiritual master. They want to take shelter of a spiritual master. And so these are the categories. One can start at 1. If you're doing 4 rounds, you can go to 8 or 12. But please don't miss out these opportunities. And I had been saying many times, if you're thinking about taking initiation, you must take at least Srila Prabhupada Ashraya, be chanting for 1 year to get recommendation from us. So it's a good way of progressing. Don't be fearful. Like Mataji said, sometimes we fear that what if I can't keep up? But the moment we make those commitments, through the mercy of Guru, through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we get that strength to do it. So unless you jump in the water, you will not move your hands, try to swim. So just wanted to cover that. Thank you very much. Meditate on that video, and your problems will become so tiny that you will feel blissful. That all day I've been worrying about this and that, but watching that Mataji cry, I just feel, I'm not in a bad position here. So thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you again.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So,
Hare Krishna. The key.
Jai.
Jai.
पतितानां भावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, नामाचार्य तीर्थ ठाकुर की जय, सुप्रभात की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for inviting. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Narayan Prabhu. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for watching. So I'm ending the session here now. So we'll meet soon in the evening now at 5:30. Hari Bol. Prabhupada.